One of the smartest men who ever lived died penniless working as an office clerk. It is believed that William James Sidis had an estimated IQ of 250 to 300. To put that in comparison, other historical IQs to have been reverse analyzed bring in Albert Einstein at 160, Leonardo da Vinci at 180 and Isaac Newton at 190. William was born in America in 1898 to Ukrainian immigrants Boris and Sarah. Boris was a famous psychologist and Sarah a doctor. William's father wished for nothing more than to have a gifted son, and his wish was granted. The little boy's childhood, fueled by his parents' belief in nurturing a precocious love of knowledge, would prove to be a whirlwind of incredible achievements. By 18 months of age, William was reading the New York Times. By 6, he was able to speak 7 languages, and by 9, he'd been accepted to Harvard University, although he would have to wait for 2 more years before he would be considered old enough to begin his studies. During his time at Harvard, William would give a lecture to the mathematical club on the topic of 4-dimensional bodies. Most found the subject incomprehensible, but for the few who did understand, it would prove to be a revelation. This would bring him nationwide attention. At the age of 16, William became the youngest person ever to graduate from Harvard University. He left college to enter a world where he found he couldn't fit in anywhere, telling reporters, "I want to live the perfect life. The only way to live the perfect life is to live it in seclusion. I have always hated crowds." By this point, William was already a well-known figure, so his plan was impossible to fulfill. He would go on to teach mathematics, but being younger than most of his students, he never felt comfortable in the position. He also tried to work in low-level jobs, but inevitably would be identified and promptly quit. "The very sight of a mathematical formula makes me physically ill. All I want to do is run an adding machine, but they won't let me alone." In 1919, William was arrested for his participation in a socialist parade in Boston. Sentenced to 18 months in prison, his arrest gained more public attention. His parents subsequently took him to a sanatorium out of state, with the threat of a transfer to an insane asylum. In 1937, William decided enough was enough. When the New Yorker ran an article about him, he sued for invasion of privacy and malicious libel. His case was dismissed with the judge ruling that once a person had become a public figure, they would always be a public figure. In 1944, William died of a cerebral hemorrhage discovered by his landlady. One of the most brilliant minds in history died as a reclusive, penniless office clerk.